like that, we're heading home after a 9-hour work day. It's amazing how fast time can go by when you're editing. And this stoplight up here, this arrow, is the shortest arrow I've ever experienced. It only lets through 2 cars. So you gotta be ready for it. And it's the type of deal where if you don't go, someone's gonna risk rear-ending you, even though it's turning yellow and red. And if you do go, you feel badly. So I try to skedaddle through this so as many people can get through as they can. But even if you do go through on green, the yellow is so short that you can enter completely on green just for it to be completely red before you're 3/4 past the intersection. Kind of crazy, but that's just how it is here. You also have to be careful cross traffic. They don't like to stop. I've seen many cars almost T-bone cars here. And this used to be a yellow flashing arrow, but they turned it off because there's so many accidents because you can't see oncoming traffic through those turning cars in front of us. So they had 4 or 5 accidents in 1 week of installing this light. So they just turned off the yellow flashing arrow. That's why it was red when we approached. Alright, checking for traffic scanning before proceeding, and then we'll get through here as quickly as we can so the people behind us can get through. When the light turns green, green doesn't mean go. Green means check the intersection, then go. And you're gonna go? Hey, come on, what are you doing? Put the phone down, get going. Still texting. I see her in her mirror. She's texting while she goes down the on-ramp. Oh, who's that? Look at, she started talking on the street too. Look at this. Oh my gosh. And we need to pick a spot, but she's going too slow. She's going 10 under the speed limit. She's going to force this guy to take action to accommodate her when she shouldn't have made him do that. She had plenty of space. She's too busy on her phone. We're still doing 10 under the speed limit because he had to slow down for her so much. But I'm not going to go around. I let people get back up to speed. Because if I go in the left lane to pass and they end up going to the speed limit, then it's stress I don't need. That's something else that blows my mind though. Not in her case because she was texting, but people who go down the on-ramps and they're 15 miles under the speed limit just to gun it after they made everybody slow down and they exceed the speed limit by 10 miles an hour. It's so strange. Alright, this guy is going slow and there's no one in the left lane, so I can pass without getting run over here. So we're doing the speed limit now. Left lane is for passing, it's not for racetrack driving. It also bugs me when people change lanes at a merge point. I saw that person come and get us full ahead, but when you have a merge, someone's trying to merge and something in the left lane comes over while someone's merging, it just drives me crazy. This person's slowing down. They're having a hard time making this corner. They're probably texting too. I figure if you pretend everyone is texting, defensive measure to have. Just watch. I always watch my side mirrors on these curves so people don't turn into me. That person's dialing. The person in front of us is slowing down again. Probably got their next text. Oh, the person behind us was more from the shoulder. They're texting too. I see her. 3 people within the vicinity of us all texting. Her eyes are down more than she's looking at us. I wish I had a camera behind me. I gotta get a camera behind me. That was interesting. She was more on the shoulder when we went over that bridge, and then her eyes are down. So this here's tricky. You got 2 freeways coming together. The right 2 lanes exit within a mile, so we're gonna stay here. Again, going back to that thing where you do not want to change lanes more than you need to. And I don't like being in this position next to somebody, so I will have to speed up a little bit. Not like being next to people, especially when you're in the middle lane. But always be aware of surroundings. Always know in every direction what's going on. I also usually check the freeway distance and time signs, and if the distance or the time to my main exit is less than 12 minutes, I'll stay on the freeway, but it's always using the 20s or 30s, so we are going to take side roads, which in this case actually saves 15 minutes instead of going through traffic, which is unusual. I've done many time tests, and most of the time it's still faster to stay on the freeway in congestion than it is to take side roads. But for some reason, this way I have discovered through these suburbs is less than the freeway. So it totally goes against my theory, even though I've tested my theory of more than a dozen times. This is the only exception I found. And I want to make this light, but I'm not going to be unreasonable. I'm not going to gun it. I'm just going to safely approach, check the intersection anyway. That is an interesting intersection to watch, though, when it's heavier traffic. People block the box. They slow down for that. Ooh, changing lanes at an intersection. Can't do that. You have to be 50 feet from the intersection before you change the lanes. Alright, so no one's going to be around because there's no traffic, but this is 30 miles an hour and cruiser's already engaged. And what I like about having a 4-cylinder engine in an SUV is when I go down hills I don't speed up. It won't shift to the next gear, so we don't have to worry about exceeding the speed limit down a hill, which is quite helpful. Saves brakes and saves the speeding ticket. Of course, going down this long, straight, wide road at 30 miles an hour, as the speed limit is posted, people want to go 45, and these will fly up on me very quickly, which is too bad. I actually added this 25 mile an hour corner sign because people were whipping around this corner so fast they ended up in oncoming traffic. So they finally put a sign up saying, "People, slow down." Turning into the nearest lane and then changing lanes to where you want to be. You always turn into the closest lane, period, unless you're in an assigned lane like a double turn lane or something. I once had a lady almost hit me because she missed a double turn lane and turned into my lane. She said she was sorry, didn't realize I was there, and I said it doesn't matter if I was there or not, you should have turned into the nearest lane. It doesn't matter. When lanes end in Minnesota for construction, take your lane till it ends, except they open this up even though they left the sign out. That's kind of funny. Minnesotans have a problem of merging as soon as they see a sign, which actually makes traffic worse than doing the zipper merge. And they've been trying to do all this promotion about the zipper merge, and people just don't care. They're stuck in their ways. You see this intersection in my videos all the time because people back there, if we were going at my normal time, traffic backs up a little bit, so people want to cut around traffic, so they take the left lane, which becomes a turn lane, but they keep going straight anyway. But bad example today because we're driving through so late, there's no traffic. Roundabouts, I love roundabouts. However, in the United States, they are way too small. This one's a decent size, though. They're finally getting the hang of it. But, in general, they're a little bit too small. But they're great. In fact, further up the road here, there's a roundabout. But people all stop for it. And where there should be a roundabout, they haven't put in a roundabout. I haven't figured out who made those decisions. Probably the not in my backyard approach. People are scared of change. They'd rather sit at 4-way stops for half an hour than go through a roundabout in 2 minutes. I always do the best I can to make sure I don't end up at the stop sign at the same time. So I try to pace myself. So I always go to the side of letting other people go first. So I try not to be an aggressive driver. Being an aggressive driver, that Jeep behind me is on my butt. I really want to get to high school. Anyway, what was I saying? So if I'm going to approach a stop sign, I see other people approaching, I do the best I can to make sure it's not ambiguous. I try to make sure that they clearly get there first. Can't always help it, but I always yield on the side of letting them get there first. So I'll pace myself. There's a lot of stress, a lot of confusion. And then if there's a more aggressive driver, by all means, you can take the lead because you don't want to be stuck behind me anyway. So here's a great hill because speed limit's 30. My engine will keep me at 30. Cars flat behind me. They want to go super fast. So cops put up those speed signs here. And every time you see a speed, it's something like 45 miles an hour to 30. Yeah. So that intersection back there should have been a roundabout. Hopefully they make it a roundabout someday because on a normal traffic day, it backs up for no reason other than taking turns to stop. This roundabout up here was to alleviate congestion on the road to the right. Otherwise you'd have to wait at an uncontrolled intersection, but they have a stop sign. I guess that's partially controlled. No issues here today, but you've seen this roundabout in my videos many times. People don't understand how roundabouts work. It's still a new concept, even though I've been seeing them here for the past decade or so. So you might be asking yourself, why do I follow all the rules? One, driving is not difficult if you give it your full attention. Two, people die every day in situations where they did not have to die. It's pretty much that simple. Pay attention, follow the rules, don't take shortcuts, and don't cheat, and everybody will be fine. But as soon as the wrong person breaks the wrong rule out of carelessness, things can change in a hurry. That person really made that corner, they're going so fast. Holy moly. So yeah, it's that simple. Crashes are not accidents. People die because of other selfish behavior. It doesn't have to be that way. Alright, so we act at the same time. I get to go first. And the minivan should be second, and neither of them want to go. It's usually the opposite. Everybody wants to go, but whatever. I can't worry about everything. And this is done. See, everybody crosses this line there. No matter which direction you go, people are always crossing that center line. There's plenty of room, even when there's parked cars, but people want to take shortcuts. They want to take the quickest way around a corner, and if that's crossing the center line, they don't seem to care, causing oncoming traffic to have to do something about it. Whoa, it just peeled out for no reason. That was interesting. This stop sign here is brand new. There used to be no stop sign in our direction, and then traffic would back up onto the freeway. Alright, here we go. Number 1, 2, and 3. That's a bummer. The people coming off the freeway never want to take their turn. They just go. They just go right through. They'll piggyback too. You see 2 people at a time go through quite often. Very strange. Yep, I'm stopping. Yep. I don't mind when elderly drivers go slowly like this. I'm just worried that they're going slowly because they can't see. That's what concerns me. They may be going slowly. Not sure if that's to be cautious or they can't see. If there's a cyclist, that's a heavy cyclist route. It really connects to a bike lane around that corner. And there's lots of cyclists there usually. If somebody can't quite see or judge the distance they are from them, that's when it makes me nervous. I once had somebody, when they were passing me while cycling, hit a parked car because they thought they needed to give me 15 feet. And I timed it so they wouldn't have to go around me because there was a cutout. I timed it so they wouldn't have to do anything to accommodate me on my bicycle. And she still hit a parked car. And she kept driving, so I caught up to her, because I can cycle 35 miles an hour. I had my kid in the trailer too, and I still caught her, and I told her she should go back and leave a note. She denied it. I said I had you on camera. I saw you. So she went back and left a note. Yeah, that was interesting. I even went out of my way so she wouldn't have to do anything, and she still couldn't judge her distance, and she hit a parked car. Alright, this can be tricky because of all of these hedges. You can't see over them. I almost got T-boned here once because I pulled out and a woman was driving in the middle of the night with all of her lights off, and I couldn't see her because all of her lights were off, and it was a dark night. Oh, that was petrifying. And this is tricky because people run the stop sign. You guys have seen this stop sign in my videos many times. I've also noticed that the okay, so here we go. What should we do? I'm closer, so I'm going to go. And kids run down the street all the time, so I'm always careful approaching that road from the left. Anyway, so my camera, because it's a super wide-angle lens, makes it look like I'm going much faster. Whoa, that's let's careful there, kiddo. I trusted them because their wheels were already churning, but I didn't trust them either. Anyway. My super wide-angle lens makes it look like I'm going faster than I am, by the way. I wish I could plug this into my OBD so I could see my speed, but it's not that fancy. Also, that turn I just made is tricky because people cycle the wrong way up that hill for some reason. You gotta be ready for it. You've seen this in my videos where someone pulled out here once, I almost hit somebody. I'm not quite sure why they don't have sidewalks on this road yet. They want to do it, but the people who live here think they're preserving the neighborhood by not putting in sidewalks. And there's an example where I stopped talking because they wanted to concentrate. Pedestrians, I don't want to cross that center line either, go around them. I always feel badly here when the traffic backs up because people want to turn into their driveways, and it always seems to happen right when I'm approaching. I always scan this intersection too. My wife was almost run into there once because she was turning right on green and the guy behind her was texting and almost ran into her. I was scared. He was squealing brakes and knowing that's behind you. Oh, that was scary too. So anyway, stop sign up here, you got to be careful because this house on the corner has 5 little children, and there used to be a bush in their yard, and the kids will run around the bush or run into the street all the time. So they finally removed the bush so the kids stay out of the grass or out of the street. But well, we're approaching Minneapolis, and I'm about 3 miles from home. So we're going to cut the video here in a moment. And hope you enjoyed the first episode of Driving Defensively with me. There'll be plenty more to come. We'll typically have more exciting driving gigs, so something to look forward to. Other than that, I'm going to head home now safely, and I'll catch you on the next episode.